Hello students, welcome to the next video in this series. In this video, we shall be discussing the programming section of the question paper 2017. Let us see the question. Question number 4. Define a class electricity bill with the following specifications. Class name is given as electricity bill. Make sure that we shall be using exactly the same class name. Instance variables and data members, string n to store the name of the customer and int units to store the number of units consumed, double bill to store the amount to pay. So as I've already told you earlier in my previous videos that these kind of questions are very simple one, because most of the things that needs to be done in the question is already mentioned in the question. So it's very simple. You simply need to follow the instructions given in the question and write the functions. So let us see what the functions are. Void accept, to accept the name of the customer and the number of units consumed. Void calculate, to calculate the bill as per the following tariff. So see, accept function is simply going to accept the customer's name and unit of the electricity consumed, and on the basis of that we shall be calculating the electricity bill. So in the calculate function they have told you how we have to calculate it. So they have stated that the number of units and the rate per unit. For the first 100 units, the rate is 2 rupees for each unit. For next 200 units, it is 3 rupees each unit, and above 300 units it is 5 rupees each unit, and a surcharge of 2.5 is to be added above the consumption of 300 units. So whatever is the additional units above 300, on that amount you will have to calculate a surcharge of 2.5%. Then we have a method to print everything. They have given us the name as print. Void print, to print the details as follows: name of the customer, number of the units consumed, and the bill amount. In this you have to write a main method to create an object of the class and call above member methods to execute the program. So now we will look at the solution of the question. As I've already told you, we shall be using buffered reader class to take the input from the keyboard. So for that I have imported java.io package. Inside java.io package we have buffered reader class, using which we shall be taking the input of a string and an integer. So public class electricity bill, observe this, it is exactly same as given in the question paper. String n to store the name, int units to store the number of units of electricity consumed, and double bill to store the bill which is calculated in the question. So now we'll write the first method in this program, void accept. So we can write it as public void accept, that doesn't make any difference. You can also write void accept. Since in question it is not mentioned explicitly whether you have to keep it public, private, or default, so there is no doubt. You can either keep it as public, or even if you don't write it public, it is absolutely fine. It will be of default type. So don't get confused with this word public. So void public void accept throws IO exception. Since I am using buffered reader class, I will throw IO exception here, and this is the way how we do it. Like if you are taking input for using buffered reader, that method will have to throw IO exception. So this is the syntax, you have to use it. Creating the object of buffered reader class is it looks like this: buffered reader br is equal to new buffered reader, new input stream reader system.in. This is the syntax that you have to memorize. Next is system.out.print, enter the name. So you are asking the user to enter the name. N is equal to br.readline. Br is the object of buffered reader class, and readline is the method that is used to read a string from the keyboard. Similarly, system.out.print, enter units. Unit is equal to integer.parseInt br.readline. Integer.parseInt br.readline, this is how you take the input, an integer input from the keyboard. So the task of this method is done. We have actually accepted two inputs from the user. One is the name and the other one is the number of units. So the task is done for this method. Now we will move to the next method, which is public void calculate. So the logic is entirely given in the question paper. You just have to write it as per the proper Java syntax. So public void calculate if units is less than 100, that is if it is less than 100, then you remember in the question paper it is given that bill would be calculated as per 2 rupees per unit. So bill is equal to unit into 200, so that will become bill. So else if that is not the case, else if units is greater than 100 but less than equal to 300. So I want to show you the question again here. See, what they are saying is first 100 unit and then next 200 units. So which means that from if the range is between like 101 to like 300, till that this rule will this rate will apply to that particular range. If it is greater than 100 but it is less than 300, so this range will apply to that. See how we got the range? We simply added this 100 to 200 and then we got as 300. So now the second if else block is this logic only. Else if unit is greater than 100 and less than 300, then bill is equal to, see, for first 100 unit, you know the rate is 2 rupee each only, so you will write it as simple 100 into 2 plus whatever additional amount is there, whatever additional units are there in addition to 100, that you need to find. How you will find that? You will subtract 100 from that units and you will get that those additional units and you will multiply by 3, because it is given that if the for next 200 units it is 3. So that is why you have calculated it like this, units minus 100 into 3. So this will become your bill. Otherwise, if it is greater than 300, then for first 100 unit it will be 100 into 2, the next 200 it will be 200 into 3 plus units minus 300, means whatever units are more than 300, on those additional units only the rate will be with 5. So this will become the bill, and you remember you have to calculate the surcharge also. If units are more than 300, so surcharge is equal to bill into whatever the bill has been calculated, the surcharge will be added calculated as per that, bill into 2.5 upon 100, that is like 2.5% of the bill is the surcharge. So now bill is equal to bill plus surcharge, so you added the surcharge in the bill. So this is the bill now. I would like to highlight here that double surcharge, it is a local variable here, so it is absolutely fine to define this inside the else block because you are going to use it only here. So it's no point declaring it like here in the function or like making as an instance variable. Make sure you use only those instance variables which are given in the program in the question paper. And last method is void print, system.out.print, and again remember whatever pattern they have given you in or the format they have given you in the question paper, print it in the same format. Name of the customer, use the same wording. Name of the units consumed, use the same wording. Bill amount, use the same wording. So let us see. Public void print, system.out.println, you know what println does, it prints and then changes the line. And in the format that was given in the question paper, it is that only. First you have to print it, then change the line, then again print it, then again change the line. So it is name of the customers is plus n, which we took input from the user. It is an instance variable, so you can access it inside this method or any method. Then system.out.println, number of units consumed, this also we got from the user as an input. Finally system.out.println bill, so bill amount is this. So work of this print method is also done. Now it was said in the question paper that you have to write a main method. So public static void main string args, this you know, all of you know that. But since we are making use of buffered reader class and we are going to call a method that is throwing IO exception, which is except method, this will also throw an IO exception. So take note of this, throws IO exception. Then we have to create the object of this class. So object creation is done like this, class name, then object name is equal to new class name. So electricity bill is equal to new electricity bill. This electricity bill written in small, it is the object. So electricity bill dot accept, you will call the accept method first, which will prompt the user to input, then electricity bill dot calculate. In this method, in the backend the calculation will happen, and then electricity dot print. Now you have to be very particular that this sequence has to go, because it's very logical thing. First you will take the input, then you will calculate, then you will print. You can't reverse the order, you can't change the order. So you have to take care of this. It's a very normal thing. So this is it in this video. I would like to highlight the importance of such kind of questions. See, it is very important question from exam point of view, and every year you find one such question. And I always say that it is a very simple kind of question. Why? Because there will be only one method in which you have to apply your brain and put the logic. Other 2 or 3 methods will be very simple. For example, in this, accept method is very simple and print method is very simple. You just have to write the proper syntax for accepting the input and printing the values of the instance variables. The only logic goes inside one method, which is calculate, and that too the question paper has explicitly told you everything. You just have to follow it properly. Use a little bit of logic, like here we had to calculate the range, that is 100 plus 200 is equal to 300. So if the value is like the number of unit consumed is between 100 and 300, then it will be 3 rupees. And again you need to take care of that point, that on initial 100 unit it is 2 rupee per unit, then on 100 to 300 it is 3 rupee per unit, and on addition like on beyond 300 unit it is 5. So you just need to take care of these things and read the question very carefully, and you will get the logic here. So I would suggest you to practice such kind of questions. Write down, pause the video in between, write down the entire solution, and if possible, wherever possible, try to give comments to the examiners. You use proper syntax for comment. That will help you fetch good marks. And also write the variable description. Variable description is actually very simple. I will be making a separate video telling you how to make the variable description, because it's very simple thing. And I hope all of you know that how to write a variable description. Now one more point. In such kind of questions, sometimes board examiners want you to write the main method, sometimes they don't want you to write the main method. So do only what is given in the question. In this question they have asked you to write a main method, so you are supposed to write a main method. However, in 2018 they asked a question in which they didn't ask you to write a main method, so you are just simply supposed to create a class and leave it. Don't write a main method if they have not asked you to write a main method. So that is the only important things for such kind of questions. So if you liked the video, please give it a big thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to receive regular updates. For more perfect answers, stay tuned to my channel Answers 2.0. Soon I shall be uploading next video in this series. Till then, happy exam preparation.